So San Diego Comic-Con was back for another year, seemingly acting as some kind of nerd Christmas, and I couldn't be happier for it. Comic-Con weekend is one of my favorite times of the year, even though I don't actually go to the convention, and I just sit at home and read about all the stuff online. Anyway, let's talk about all the biggest stuff to come out of this year's convention, even though I admittedly probably missed a few small things since this con is so huge. And also, sorry, I haven't included anything that happened on Sunday in this, because really, there are no big announcements on Sunday, and it's more just for the people at the actual convention. First up, before Comic-Con, there were some new Entertainment Weekly picks for Black Panther and Justice League, which both looked pretty cool. Then, on display at the convention itself were all the costumes from Justice League, which look pretty spectacular, and the new Batmobile, which looks pretty similar to the old one, which is a design that I like. Okay, now let's get into the actual convention. I've divided this into Marvel Studios, Warner Brothers, and other. And let's start off with the other. Also, just so you know, I've put links to all the trailers and clips and whatnot that I talk about in the description below. Firstly, there was a trailer for Jigsaw, aka the 8th film in the Saw franchise. As most of you know, I'm not super into horror movie stuff, although I have been breaking through a little bit on that front recently. But if there's one kind of horror that I dislike the most, it's the torture stuff. So, sorry, just not really my kind of thing. As for this movie looks like exactly what you'd want if you were a fan of this series, although I did find it a little weird that the big end of the trailer scare they broke to try to put some humor in there. Oh well, I don't think I'll be seeing this regardless. Then there was a trailer that I don't know if it was from Comic-Con or was just released coincidentally at the same time for a film called Proud Mary. It's like Taraji P. Henson's own kind of Atomic Blonde, I guess, which sounds cool, but the trailer itself just looked a little bit like a generic action film to me. Hopefully it'll surprise me though. Speaking of Atomic Blonde, that movie, which I'm really excited to see actually, had a panel which involved a whole free screening of the film, so that's pretty cool. Then there was a little teaser for Pacific Rim Uprising, which basically showed us two things. 1, Jaegers are back. 2, John Boyega is using his British accent in this. I still haven't seen the first Pacific Rim yet, but I really want to, since it just looks like a very fun, if not a little dumb movie. So I hope this sequel has more of that. There was a new trailer for that David Ayer, Will Smith Netflix movie called Bright, which initially I wasn't very interested in, but after I saw this trailer, I'm pretty intrigued. The premise for this is fascinating to me. This world of, I guess, magical-ish creatures living with humans, and how that would look all gritty and real world and whatnot. And the actual movie itself doesn't look bad at all. So yeah, I imagine I'll be checking this out. Another Netflix movie that's coming out, one that's a little more controversial, is Death Note, and a new clip was released for that. As someone who's not really familiar with the original, but I know generally what it's about, this looks okay. Willem Dafoe as a giant demon man, that doesn't sound that bad. There was a new trailer for Star Trek Discovery, which by all means looks very average and very Star Trek-y. I imagine if you're a big fan of Star Trek, you'll enjoy this. And funnily enough, there was also a trailer for The Orville, the Seth MacFarlane Star Trek parody. I'm not a huge fan of Seth MacFarlane, though I do like some of his stuff, and this looks good, I just don't think I'll be watching it. There was a trailer for Voltron Legendary Defender Season 3, and it was confirmed that the new Tick TV show will be coming to Amazon Prime in August. Now, in trailers for shows that I really should catch up on, but for whatever reason I haven't yet, news, there were trailers for The Walking Dead Season 8, Westworld Season 2, and Game of Thrones Season 7. Gonna be getting into Game of Thrones soon though, hopefully, so expect a review at some point within the next 5 years or so. There was also a new trailer for that X-Men TV show, The Gifted, and like the last trailer, it looks really serviceable. Whether or not I'm actually gonna like this all comes down to if I end up liking the characters, because otherwise, this doesn't look that impressive to me. It looks like the quintessential, very average superhero TV show formula. Oh, you know those big superheroes that have cool adventures? Well, we're the other heroes, and we have smaller adventures in smaller locations because budget restraints. Sometimes that can work. The last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I quite enjoyed, but this has yet to really hook me. Also, Legion Season 2, another show I'm gonna have to catch up on, added that one Howling Commando-ish guy from Wonder Woman, Zeed Tegmawi, which is how I believe you pronounce it. So that's cool. Speaking of Legion, it was announced that a Doctor Doom film will be coming to us from Noah Hawley, the guy behind Legion and Fargo. So hey, a Doctor Doom movie wouldn't otherwise have me very excited, but with this guy on board, that bodes pretty well. I'm holding out to see more developments though before I become indifferent or excited. There was a new Rick and Morty featurette released, can't wait for Season 3. There was a new trailer for the Lego Ninjago movie, looks like a fun kids movie, I'll probably see it. It doesn't look close to as good as the Lego movie or the Lego Batman movie though. Then there was a Stranger Things Season 2 trailer, which looks great, looks like a perfect follow-up to what already was an amazing season. For the record, I binge-watched Season 1 recently, and wow, I was missing out. I'll probably do a review of the whole show once this comes out on Halloween. And finally, let's wrap the other up with a trifecta of Channing Tatum news.
Fuck yeah.
1. Channing Tatum is going to be Van Helsing in the Universal Dark Monster Tom Cruise-verse. Cool. Anything to save that series is welcome at this point. 2. Channing Tatum confirmed that he's working on Gambit still. That surprised me as well. And 3. The Kingsman 2 trailer. which Channing Tatum is in. With Kingsman 2, the first trailer looked great, but this looks even better. This is precisely what I was hoping this film would look like. More fun quips, more insane action, just more of everything. Harry's back in a big way, Pedro Pascal and his laser lasso looks incredible. Really, this trailer just reminded me why I put Kingsman 2 as my most anticipated film of 2017. Also, there was this little Kingsman Archer crossover, which I imagine is even funnier if you watch Archer, but as someone who hasn't yet, it was still pretty funny. Alright, now let's talk all the Warner Brothers stuff. And by that I mean mainly DC, but there are a few non-DC WB properties. Blade Runner 2049 had a panel, which was apparently opened by a hologram Jared Leto. Interesting. But the big Warner Brothers news was the trailer for Ready Player One. Look, Steven Spielberg has gone from making some of my favorite movies of all time to making, good movies. Tintin was pretty fun, but this looks kind of amazing. For the record, I haven't read the book, and I had no idea what this was about. So when the trailer started off, I thought, okay, this looks pretty cool, I guess. And then suddenly the Iron Giant shows up, and I kind of freaked out. The Iron Giant is one of my favorite films, and one of the most underrated movies of all time. So to see that character pop up again in a mainstream big movie, that's kind of the best. So the premise, I guess, is that you go into this world of pop culture references and have crazy adventures, which is an amazing premise. The only other references I picked up on were Harley and Deathstroke, the DeLorean, and Freddy Krueger. But I'm sure there are more in the trailer and tons more in the actual film. So consider me pretty excited now. Okay, now we can talk all the DC stuff. Firstly, the TV shows. There was a trailer for The Flash Season 4, I loved Season 3, and I'm sure I'll enjoy Season 4. The trailer, though, isn't very well put together and doesn't make it look very good, but I'm still pretty excited. Then there were trailers and/or sizzle reels for Arrow Season 6, Supergirl Season 3, Legends of Tomorrow Season 3, and Gotham Season 4. All shows I haven't watched, sue me, I don't have unlimited time. There was also a super short teaser for the new Krypton show, the Gotham of Superman, I guess, which doesn't sound like an amazing pitch, but we'll see. Young Justice Season 3 had a panel where they showed off new character designs. Suicide Squad Hell to Pay was announced as an upcoming DC animated film, and Injustice 2 showed off a trailer for Starfire, as DLC, I guess. Also, that new, and to me at least, not very good looking animated film, Batman and Harley Quinn had a screening, and the reviews are mixed to positive, I guess? I don't know, like I said, this does not look that good to me. So then there was the big DCEU movie news. For one, Ben Affleck confirmed that he's in for the Batman, despite what all those recent rumors said. Then DC's updated movie slate was unveiled, with the Shazam film getting its rumored director, David Sandberg from the movie Lights Out, confirmed. Wonder Woman 2 is happening, Suicide Squad 2 is happening. Also, fun little tidbit, Jared Leto said about his involvement in Suicide Squad 2, quote, "Talking about Joker is like talking about Fight Club. Unless you want to gargle your testicles, it's probably better to leave it. He's liable to jump out of the cupboard and just start having fun." So yeah, make of that what you will. Warner Brothers is also developing a Harley and Joker film, which, between that and Gotham City Sirens, I feel like we're going to start to get kind of sick of Harley Quinn. We'll see though. Then, that Flash movie that's seemingly stuck in development hell right now, it got an exciting new update in the fact that it'll be called The Flash Flashpoint. The Flashpoint story is great, although I think it's interesting they're making a movie, considering they just did this in some respect on the TV show. But oh well, I'm much more excited for this film now. Then some footage was shown to the attendees of the new Aquaman film, and apparently it looks pretty great. In it, you apparently see Atlantis and Aquaman talking to someone with a sword, and it was described as Star Wars underwater, which sounds pretty promising. And then the big DC event this year, the Justice League trailer, which again, looks pretty cool at least. The trailer opens with a classic superhero scenario, a museum or bank or whatever is being robbed, and there are a bunch of school children in it, because of course there are. But not to fear, because Wonder Woman bursts in to save the day. And on that note, this trailer was way more Wonder Woman focused than before. I wonder why that is. Just a speed round of stuff that I have thoughts on in here, because really, on the whole, overall my feelings are the same to this as they were towards the last trailer. I'm still loving how J.K. Simmons looks as Gordon, and how Jeremy Irons is as Alfred. We get our first proper look, kind of, at the villain Steppenwolf in action. He looks cool enough. There's a reference to the Lanterns, maybe we'll see them pop up here. There's some really cool effects, and I'm still loving all the visual effects around the Flash. Although I do have to say, while he's pretty funny in these trailers, I really hope the Flash doesn't get annoying in this. We get to hear Cyborg talking more, it's completely digital and robotic, which surprised me a bit, since I thought he was just going to have a normal human personality, but I guess not. That's a cool dynamic to add to the team though. One of them is really just a computer personality-wise. Also, I do want to say, this does not look more like a Joss Whedon film than it did before, even if there's more humor. It still looks exactly like a Zack Snyder film. And that Snyder reaction still looks pretty cool, although I guess now the finale won't be them fighting and fighting and fighting in dark gray locations, but fighting and fighting and fighting in dark red locations. Hopefully that isn't a real eyesore in the film. And then at the end, I'm assuming it's Superman who shows up. First of all, I kinda called this. I said in one of these trailers after the title card rolled, someone would say, "We've been waiting for you," or something, and then we'd see a flash of the Superman logo. Thankfully it did show a little more restraint than that, so I'm not annoyed by this. Also, there was this new poster for Justice League, which I personally think looks awesome, but a lot of people hate it. Like, yeah, the text with the logos looks kinda cheesy, but the rest of it looks great in my opinion. Now, finally, let's talk about the stuff from Marvel Studios at Hall H. Firstly, in TV news, there was a new trailer for the Inhuman show, which looks a little better than the last one. This still doesn't look very good though. I'll watch it, mainly because I kind of have to for a video I'm making, but I hope these are just kind of poorly made trailers and the show is better. There are some really cool shots in here though, including that we finally get to see Medusa using her hair. Iron Fist was renewed for a second season and got a new showrunner, which is probably for the best. There was this little Defenders video with Stan Lee, which was nice, but mainly because it gave us our first look at the Punisher in his new show. And speaking of that, the people on Hall H got to see some actual footage from the new Punisher show, which was apparently real violent and showed the Punisher killing his way around North America. He strangles a guy in New York, he kills some bikers in Alabama, and he takes out a drug lord in Mexico while he's having sex. The drug lord, that is, not the Punisher. Sounds great, especially for a character like this, and I'm glad we're finally getting a Marvel Netflix show that can move around the world and not just have to stay in New York. There was the trailer for The Defenders, which once again I'm insanely hyped for. Not much to say here that couldn't be said about the last trailer. It's just exactly what I was hoping for when I heard all these characters were coming together. They've seemingly managed to capture the personalities of all these characters perfectly, and they play off each other really well. Plus we get a lot of funny moments from it.
Not even with whatever it is your hand can do. It's cheap.
It's not.
Action looks great, villain looks great, and it's coming out in less than a month. God damn am I excited. Also, people at the convention got to see the first episode of The Defenders, which I didn't read descriptions of because I want to go into this and be somewhat surprised. There was some pretty big casting news from Ant-Man and the Wasp. Michelle Pfeiffer was cast as Janet Van Dyne, great choice, and Lawrence Fishburne was added to the cast as Bill Foster, aka this guy. So that's cool. There was also a little bit of footage, including modern-day Hank Pym in a white Ant-Man costume, and Ant-Man and the Wasp flying side by side into action. Great. It's probably going to be a lot of fun. There was also big news for Captain Marvel. First of all, we got some awesome concept art, and then we got some plot details. The Skrulls will be in this. I remember there was a rumor that they were going to be the villains for the first Avengers, and since that didn't play out, it's cool we get to see them here. And secondly, this will take place in the 90s, which is interesting, and it'll also co-star a two-eyed Nick Fury, which is very interesting. So consider me much more intrigued in this film than before. Then there was a new poster for Black Panther, and some more footage was shown, which was apparently insanely fantastic. It showed that casino scene that we saw a glimpse of in the trailer, where apparently T'Challa and Lupita Nyong'o, whose character's name I can't recall, are looking out for Claw and Martin Freeman, and then all hell breaks loose, and then an amazing action sequence follows. And then the big reveal is that Claw shows off his new prosthetic weapon arm, so that all sounds incredible. Again, this might be my most anticipated upcoming MCU movie. Maybe. Then we got some cool new posters for Thor Ragnarok, and as expected, we got a full-length trailer. I'm still loving how this looks. Again, this movie's biggest strength, I imagine, is going to be the comedy, because of the director and the talented cast. And that's still apparent here. The jokes are still really funny. I also love all the costumes and the set design. The movie looks great, especially Hela. Almost all of the visual effects look fantastic. I still love this 80s kind of rainbow vibe this has going. And we get to hear Hulk speak more, which was interesting and kind of jarring, but I liked it. The only kind of complaint I have here, and I haven't really heard anyone else saying this, so maybe it's just me, but the CGI on Hulk doesn't look as good as it looked before. I'm guessing it'll look better in the actual film, but some of this, I don't know. It just didn't look as good as it did in the last two Avengers movies. That aside, I'm still super excited for this. And then finally, there was some pretty cool concept art for Infinity War, and then the actual Infinity War footage was shown again. Except this time, and for the first time in maybe ever, Marvel wasn't top-notch with their security, and a video leaked online of the whole trailer. Luckily, I was able to get my hands on it pretty early, but I'm hoping that Marvel will release the full HD trailer now that it's leaked. Anyway, I already talked about all this in my D23 video, but we can just go over the highlights again, this time with the footage. Thor crashes onto the Guardian ship, there's an epic team-up shot, Thanos comes to Earth, Spider-Man's hairs are rising, new Spider-Man suit in action, Doctor Strange and Star-Lord fighting Thanos, Loki with the Tesseract, Bucky and Black Panther and a Wakandan army, and just a great montage of action. I'll try to leave a link down below to that, but this keeps getting taken down left and right. So hopefully you'll find a place to see it, and hopefully this actual video stays up. So those were my thoughts on this year's SDCC. What did you think of all these announcements? Let me know all of your thoughts down below in the comments. While you're at it, be sure to like this video, check out my Instagram and Twitter at BHL_Hudson, and subscribe for more videos like the one you just watched. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.